Hello everyone and welcome to your guide to popular builds and Heroes of the Storm. My name is Saren Death and today we will be checking out Valla's Multishot build. But before we get into any of that, a quick disclaimer. These guides are not written in stone. They are here to point you in the right direction, but ultimately they are a tool to help you learn the hero on your own. I am not a pro player. Mistakes will be made and poor play will be seen. Why should you listen to me then? Well, that's a good question. I may not be the best player in the game. In fact, I'm pretty average. But I have an analytical mind, and as they always say, those who can't do, teach. Also, all art assets and game assets are owned by Blizzard Entertainment. Now that we've gotten through that, let's take a look at Valla. Valla is a ranged assassin from the Diablo 3 universe where she spends most of her days hunting down demons and skewering them with her crossbows. She has a very versatile kit that makes her a potent and well-rounded hero on the battlefield. Before we get into her talent build, let's take a quick look at her skills. Her trait is called Hatred. It's a stacking buff that grants her 2% attack damage per stack and 1% movement speed per stack, to a maximum of 10 stacks. This is a very powerful passive that swings Valla into the heavy damage dealer category. No matter what build you are going, this alone makes her an auto attack hero. So, make sure you are using this in a fight. Her Q is called Hungering Arrow. This is a 14-second cooldown skill shot that hits a target then seeks out up to 2 additional targets. This can hit the same target multiple times. Just a quick note about the skill shot. You do not need to hit the target directly. There is some wiggle room with this ability. Valla's W is called Multishot. It's an 8-second cooldown cone AoE skill shot that fires off a barrage of arrows, hitting everything in its area. This is the main focus of the Multishot build, bringing a great deal of utility to the ability. Her E is called Vault. It's a 10-second cooldown short-range escape that comes baseline in her kit. It has a pretty short cooldown and can get you out of very tight situations. Now that we've covered her base abilities, let's take a quick look at her heroics. Reign of Vengeance is a 90-second cooldown AoE skill shot that sends 2 waves of shadow beasts crashing down in an area, stunning and dealing a sizable amount of damage to all enemies caught inside. A quick warning about this ability. The waves crash down slightly slower than the first stun, so without a slow or something else to keep them in the AoE, the second splash may not hit the enemy. Strafe is a 60-second cooldown AoE centered on Valla that does a moderate amount of damage to anyone caught inside. A quick note about this ability. Positioning is key, due to the shots not piercing enemies. Now that we've covered the basic abilities, let's dig into the talents. At level 1, you're going to take Composite Arrows. This extends the range of your multi-shot, allowing you to hit more targets from a safer range. At level 4, you're going to take Arsenal. Multi-shot will now fire up to 3 grenades that will travel with the multi-shot, dealing damage to anything they come into contact with. This helps a great deal with wave clear. Just remember, they will explode against whatever they come into contact with first, be that enemy hero or minion. At level 7, you're going to take Searing Attacks. This is a cooldown ability that trades in mana for extra damage on your auto attacks. The key to this ability is to remember that Valla, no matter what, will always be considered an auto attack hero. Her trait is just too good to ignore. Searing Attack takes full advantage of this. Just remember, it only lasts 5 seconds and drains mana with each shot. When it comes to heroics for this build, I prefer Strafe. It's an all-around, good damage-dealing heroic. Just remember positioning is important, and you can't use multi-shot when you are strafing. At level 13, you're going to take Frost Shot. This brings some much-needed utility to your multi-shot ability. Now, enemies hit by your massive AoE are slowed, giving you more time to get auto attacks off, and allowing your team a chance to body block, stun, or slow the enemy, guaranteeing a kill. At level 16, you're going to take Blood for Blood, a long cooldown ability that allows you to deal 10% of the target's maximum life and gives you double that back. This ability is great when targeting large health pool enemy heroes, like tanks and warriors, and not nearly as effective against squishy targets. Just remember, if you get good at judging a target's health, you can use this ability to finish someone off. At level 20, you have a choice between two talents. Personally, I prefer Bolt of the Storm, which is a 70-second cooldown teleport that can and will get you out of very bad situations. However, Nexus Frenzy is also a popular choice, allowing you to take even more advantage of your auto attacks by increasing your attack speed and attack range by 20%. This tier comes down to personal preference and what you need during the match. Are you winning most team fights and or your tanks are doing an amazing job frontlining for you? Then take Nexus Frenzy. Are you getting caught out? You don't have a front line? Or you just want to feel safe with an extra escape? Then take Bolt of the Storm. As you can see, the multi-shot build has a lot to offer. Good amount of AoE damage, good wave clear, utility in the form of a slow. It still takes advantage of the Hatred talent. However, it does lack health sustain outside of a 60-second cooldown at level 16. Alright, let's go over some quick tips for this build. Remember, you don't need to open with multi-shot. Use the bonus movement from your trait to get into a better position before letting loose the slow, allowing for some follow-up damage. Try not to use Hungering Arrow against an opponent in their minion wave or fleeing next to their towers. Just because you can hit the same target multiple times doesn't mean you will. Try to flank with Strafe, allowing you to cut into the middle of their numbers and deal even more damage. But don't overextend trying to get a good strafe off. Wait for your team to engage, and then utilize the movement speed bonus from your stacked Hatred to get into a better position, then unleash. Try not to use Vault aggressively unless you know your team has your back, or you know you are safe and will guarantee a kill. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this guide helpful. If you have any variations or tips for this build, feel free to share them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I will catch you all later.